You look at the Dow is down almost 4% in the past 6 months here, right? It certainly doesn't feel like a great time for the Dow. The Russell 2000 is down over 6% in the past 6 months. And I mean, you pull up a 5-year chart of the Russell. It's hardly done anything in 5 years. Look at the Russell prior to Rona versus now. And what you're going to find is the Russell has done almost nothing, okay? Silver is basically about flat in the past 6 months, and that's after. Remember, it was red going into today, right? It was up almost 2.5% here today. This is extremely important for everybody watching this right now to see this, okay? This is GSG, this is a commodity index. This is down 8.6% in the past 6 months. This matters in a significant way. This is one of the in my opinion, guiding lights of inflation. And if you're worried about inflation or not worried about inflation, this is something that's going to take you there in a major way. Crude oil, right? Down 4 or 5% in the past 6 months. Oil just hasn't been able to do anything. And here we are, getting ready to go in summer, and oil's just, it's just not moving. And June's going to be here in a few days. Like, this is a time period, June, July, when you expect oil to be skyrocketing, and it can't get out of its own way right now for whatever reason, okay? Now, this is huge, okay? Trueflation numbers just came out, 2.86% now at this point in time. 2.86%. Now, something's funny about Trueflation, because the bears, the short sellers, they love to show Trueflation last year, right? And they love to say, oh, the government numbers are wrong. Look at Trueflation's at double digits. And now the bears and the short sellers, they don't even want to look at this number. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, Trueflation numbers are wrong. We're actually at 5% CPI right now or whatever, okay? And it just cracks me up, because it's like, oh, so it wasn't real last year. It wasn't accurate last year, or it was accurate last year, right? When it was going your way. But now that it's not going your way as a bear or a short seller, it's like, oh, it's not accurate anymore at this point in time, okay? That cracks me up, right? That cracks me up. That just like shows the delusion out there that goes on. And I don't know why people do it like that, but they do it like that, right? The bottom line is, we're officially winning the war now at this point in time on inflation. We have not won yet. The battle's not over yet. But dang, it's looking pretty good, okay? And the other side's going to have to surrender sooner rather than later in regards to this, right? Now, I thought this was interesting, right? Policy error Friday. And I have to mention this along with this because it's an important subject, right? The Fed uses backwards-looking data that lags approximately 2 months. This is why Powell kept the quantitative easing well into Q4 2021. Why doesn't the Fed utilize real-time data? And it is a good point. We all know the Fed went way too far on the other side. We were all experiencing, anybody that ran a business out there, and if you ran a business out there, you were experiencing inflation in 2021. You saw it for your business. There's no one I knew that ran a business that wasn't seeing it. And there the Fed was just acting completely delusional, like there was no inflation. Especially in the back half of 2021, we were like, have you seen what's happening with commodities? Have you seen what's going on out there? Prices are going insane. And yet the Fed was asleep at the wheel. And that's because they're looking at backwards looking data. Same exact thing now. You still hear the Fed talking tough. And like, oh yeah, well, we might pause, but then we're going, rate cuts aren't even on the table. We might still raise rates more this year. You hear them talking tough, and it's like, dude, you don't have to talk tough anymore. A few months ago, sure, there was a situation, but not anymore now at this point in time. The CPI numbers are about to come in at 3s and then 2s. If you're still talking tough, like there's no reason to be doing that anymore now at this point in time. Absolutely no reason. The bottom line is this is all going our way now at this point in time. And that's great news. That's absolutely great news. Now, we have it good in the United States. Things are getting a lot better. But I can tell you it's not like that all over the world, okay? There's other places that are facing very hard times still, unfortunately, in relation to inflation. And so to those folks, that stinks. I wish it was better than that. And I hope it does get better. But for now, it's tough sledding there, okay? I hope at this time next year, you guys are in a lot better place than where you're at in terms of that. That's tough, okay? But in terms of the U.S. market, yeah, we're looking better and better and better and better. I went to a mall. This is in kind of like Newport Beach, Newport Coast area. And this was very interesting. So RH is building a massive store in Newport Beach, which I think is brilliant, okay? This is going to have a wine bar. It's going to have this massive rooftop restaurant. I can't wait till the thing opens. I'm going to definitely go to it. It's supposed to open at some point in 2024. You might say, well, why do they spend so much money? Like why put a restaurant on top of the place? And, why have this wine bar and everything like that? And never mind that location's got to be extremely expensive. you got to attract people with money. And, I've been to the one in Marin, which is outside San Francisco, as far as RH that has a restaurant on top. And I went to the one in Charlotte, North Carolina that has a restaurant on top. And I can tell you, food was great. Service was great. It was, definitely a more high-end experience. And so I think it's brilliant. I think all that type of stuff is brilliant that RH is doing. You got to attract those sorts of customers and that clientele, okay? Lucid. Did see a Lucid store, those Lucid stores, there's not very many of them, but I did see one at that Newport Mall. It had one worker in it, and if I recall, it had 0 customers in it. So it doesn't surprise me. Lucid's just in a really bad spot. Just, to be quite frank, it just doesn't seem like there's much demand for Lucid. And when you don't have much demand, in your company that you need massive production to get to profitability, they just don't have it, and they're in a bad place right now. Saw the Tesla store. I was probably the most workers I ever saw in a Tesla store in my entire life. I was actually amazed at that. Now, in regards to Tesla, I gotta say, it was insane driving around Southern California. And the reason being is, Tesla sell amazing in California. Like, California is always like Tesla's number one market, right? I can tell you out here in Vegas, Tesla's very popular. Probably one of the other most popular markets. But there's a whole different stratosphere in terms of popularity in California. And, if you maybe live in the Midwest, if you maybe live on the East Coast, you maybe don't see as many Teslas. They're kind of a rarity, okay? I can tell you what I saw personally driving around Southern California is Tesla looks like it's the most popular vehicle of any brand out there. It is insane. Like, I'll be at a light and it's like Tesla, 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 behind that Tesla, side of that Tesla, Tesla. It's just insane. And it's like, is this just a Tesla city? Like what is going on here? But, that's insane. And so when you see these numbers, right, top selling passenger cars in California in 2022, Model 3, right, taking the cake there. You obviously see, they put it into the light trucks category, right, Model Y, most popular. You see the numbers, and it's cool to see that. But I can tell you, nothing is like being there in person and just seeing like how much market share Tesla's taking. Teslas were so rare a few years ago, right? It was rare to see them on the roads. Even in Southern California, you go back 4 or 5 years ago, you might see a few Teslas here and there, but they're pretty rare. And now it's just like flood of Teslas. And I can tell you, it's not going to stop. It's just going to be more and more and more. And it's just, when you go out there, man, you really realize the market share Tesla's taking. It is epic market share. And look at this. I don't know if you guys saw this, okay? This is crazy, okay? Tesla's Model Y California sales increased 46% in Q1 2023 versus Q1 2022, right? And it's, for what I also saw out there, is it's just Model Y is really the one that's dominating. Yes, did I see a lot of Model S's for sure, Model X's for sure, Model 3's for sure, but nothing like the Model Y. It seems like Model Y is just like, it's insane to see how well that's selling. Just phenomenal. When you see it in real life, it just hits you on a different level, and you just realize, my gosh, this company's really doing it, man. They're really doing what I thought they would do, and it's actually hitting, right?